Welcome to Sweet Talk SLP. I'm Krystle and I'm a pediatric speech-language pathologist. For today's video, I'll be reviewing an app or a collection of apps that I purchased for my iPad. But before we get started, I invite you to subscribe to my channel and also ring that notification bell so you'll be notified of my weekly uploads. Let's get started. Okay, so today's a little bit different. It's not a toy and it's not a printed resource. It's an app for an iPad, or several apps for an iPad, I should say. Now, I'm not keen on using my iPad in therapy, but I had a couple of kids come onto my caseload with cortical visual impairments. And so I started doing some research and came across these apps. The apps that I'll be talking about are from a developer called TreeBuddy. I was trialing the LITE version of these apps and then decided that I wanted to make a purchase. And so when I was on the purchase screen of the App Store, I saw that every app was $3.99, or there was a collection of 10 apps for $14.99. I decided to take the plunge and buy the collection of the 10 apps for $14.99. Now the reason that I did so was because, one, I liked the LITE versions, and I feel like these apps will be very useful, not only for the kids that have the cortical visual impairments or CVIs, but also for some of my younger population. They're very cause and effect type. So let's go over these 10 apps very quickly, and then we'll get into my thoughts of these products. So you'll see that I have them in a folder called Eggheads, etc. I guess I should have named it TreeBuddy, but I named it Eggheads, and you'll see why. The first few are the ones that I was most intrigued by. And so there's Infant Zoo, and you can click on watch or play. If you click on the play button, it becomes a cause and effect activity. So you click on the little egg, it's knocking, and then it makes a little animal sound, and then you can move on to the screen. You can see the colors are very basic, mostly black and white with red and yellow accents for this particular app, or for a few of these apps actually. There's also Infant Faces. As you can see, the same concept. You can play the video and it'll continually play the little egg and then it cracking open, or you can click on the egg yourself to open each egg to see the little faces. Eggheads. Eggheads has a collection of the eggs or the heads. And so for this one, you can pick the individual animals of your choice instead of waiting to rotate through them. And then it will make a fun little sound and tell you what the animal is. Now this one is a little bit more colorful, but still very clean with the graphics. It's not too busy, and it still has that cause and effect feature. So these three were my favorites, and they were $4 each. And if I decided to buy all four of them, they would have been $12. For a few dollars more, I was able to get this bundle. This next collection is Sound Shake, and it says there that it's a soothing musical rattle. And so you pick different icons or you swipe through the different musical instruments or icons that you want to use. Every time you click, it applies a new little button or a new little ring, and then every time those little buttons hit the side of the screen or each other, it makes a sound. As you can see, there are several different types that you can click on, and so some are more colorful than others, like the fruit tarts or the fish faces. So lots of cute little things in the Sound Shake Soothing Musical Rattle app. The next one we'll be going into is Peekazoo. And so the Peekazoo, or the next few, you'll see has more color variations. It's a little bit more intricate, but it's still pretty clean, I feel like. The backgrounds are very clean, and you click on it and the animals appear. You can do the guided tour, or you choose the animals and then go based off of that. The next one is Peekazoo Moo. So same concept, but of course these are farm animals. And so again, you choose the animals or pick the guided tour, and it'll take you through the little animals. The little piggies with the little butt sticking up is one of my favorite ones. Up next we have Peekazoo Train. And so similar to the regular zoo one, these are all in little train cars. And so you click on it and it shows you the little animal and what they're doing on the train cars. And so it's just an extension of the first one, the Peekazoo one that we saw. Up next we have Peekazoo Underwater. This one has a collection of sea animals. So you'll see the sea lions. You can see that there's fish and crab and all kinds of sea life. And so also it's colorful, but not too busy. Next we have Meebop Me Bop Body, Musical Murmurs. So this one has more bodily sounds, I think, like burps and gurgles and things. And as you saw, there was a tooth and a heart. And so, but it's very similar to the other ones in that you click and it, you know, an icon appears, and then once they hit the wall or each other, it makes music. And then this last one is Me Bop Maestro, Musical Bubbles. And so the same as before, you click on the little icons, they appear, they hit one another, and it'll make music. And so it's a fun little cause and effect activity for kids. The reason that I like these apps so much is because they are mostly high contrast stimulation apps. Visually, I feel like they're very appealing and not too busy for my kids with CVIs, but also for some of my little biddies or toddlers. I don't like screen time, as most of us don't. You know, I really try to limit it. But if I'm going to use a screen for a couple of minutes, I want to make sure that I'm in complete control of what the activity is and what's being shown. Now let's get into ratings. This will have the same 5 ratings that my previous reviews have had: storage, price, patient response, functionality, and overall. Storage, 5 out of 5. You keep it on your iPad, or you can also download these on an iPhone. I'm not sure if these are also on Android. I only know that they're on the Apple Store, but they are very easy to keep. Price, I'm gonna give it a 4 out of 5. I feel like for the amount of animals each app, and I'm gonna talk strictly about the animal ones because those, like the egghead ones, those were the ones I wanted first. Individually, I feel like I would have been happier spending maybe $2.99, $3, because it's still not that many animals. I mean, in the free version or the light version, I think you get 3 eggs or 3 animal versions. So clearly you get a lot more of them. And it is cute and fun, but I feel like $2.99 would have been my max. Now, as a bundle, I think it's really worth it to get all 10 of them. I didn't think that I would like all of the apps that came with it, but now that I've had time to go through them, I am enjoying them, and the kids are enjoying them. They are very repetitive though. So the egghead ones, you know, there's like 3 or 4 of them that are egghead ones, or the ones with the musical little icons. They're all very similar. And I probably could have done just with one of the egghead ones and one of the musical ones. The zoo ones are cute, but I already have another Peekaboo Zoo app, so I could have done without it. But I do thoroughly enjoy it. So I'm gonna give it a 4 out of 5, just because I think that it's only worth it if you buy the bundle than it is for the single app. Unless you only buy one, and one app only, but I have a hard time of only buying one. Maybe that's a personal thing. Patient response, I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5. My CVI kids, I don't know that they're enjoying it, or that it's visually stimulating enough for them. Now, clearly with a CVI, I really don't know how much they're seeing, right? Like there's like this disconnect of how much they're seeing and what's going through to them and what they can process. And so I just don't have enough of a reaction from them. For my infants or my toddlers, they're enjoying the cause and effect little eggs and the knocking. They don't really seem to care much for the zoo one. Or the musical Beep Bop ones, but they do seem to like the egg ones. And they like, you know, the ones that I've showed the egg ones to, they like the variety, the faces and the animals. So I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5 just because I feel like it's kind of inconsistent and I'm still playing around with it. I mean, I purchased these apps probably 3 months ago, so I've been messing around with them for a little while. Functionality, I love cause and effect things, so I'm gonna give it a 5 out of 5. I really like how clean it is, especially the egghead ones. I love how it's black and white and it has some red and some yellow. Overall, I'm going to give this a 4 out of 5. I am enjoying these apps. I feel like my kids are enjoying them and I'm enjoying them. I might be enjoying them more than my kids are though. And I give it a 4 out of 5 because it is an app. And not everybody has an iPad, where I feel like it would be most beneficial if you have an iPhone. I mean, if you have an iPhone Plus, then maybe, but I feel like you really want, if you're going to show it, you're going to need a screen that's big enough to really see all the fun features and the little bubbles that pop up. So I feel like for it to be the most functional, you have to have an iPad. So for that, the price, point is not so good, but if you already have the iPad, then I feel like the price point is really good. Please don't go out and buy an iPad just to get these apps. I work in home health, so my car is my storage. And so for the ease of taking materials, having an iPad with apps is just, you know, I have articulation apps on there because I can't always haul all of these cards or materials with me, although I'd like to. So overall, I give it a 4 out of 5 just because it makes it easier for me as a home health clinician to keep my materials all together. Have you ever used these apps, or what apps are your favorite to use for your toddler population or kids that may have CVIs? I'm interested in knowing because I'm always looking for new apps or materials that my kids can use in therapy. That's all I have for now. I want to thank you so much for watching. If you like my video, I hope you'll consider subscribing and also ring that notification bell so you're notified of my new videos. Also, I'd appreciate a thumbs up and share it with your friends or parents or colleagues that might enjoy my reviews. Again, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.